Good evening. What's your favorite book? Chances are good that someone has tried to ban it. My name is Dr. Alan McCartney, and I enjoy reading all kinds of literature. One of my favorite banned books is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. It was banned in Strongville, Ohio in 1972, but the board's action was overturned in 1976 by a U.S. District Court. It was also challenged at the Dallas schools in 1974 and in Washington schools in 1979. Catch-22 is a satirical novel by Joseph Heller where he looks into the experiences of Yossarian and the other airmen in a camp. It focuses on their attempts to keep their sanity in order to fulfill their service requirements so that they may return home. The phrase Catch-22 has entered the English language referring to a type of unsolvable logic puzzle. For example, losing something is typically a conventional problem. To solve it, you look for the lost item until you find it. But if the thing you've lost is your glasses, you can't see to look for them, so therefore you can't find your glasses, because you need your glasses to see to find them. Therefore, a catch-22. In Chapter 5, Yossarian is trying to understand why his friend Doc Denica won't ground him. Yossarian suggests his roommate Orr as an example. Can't you ground someone who's crazy? Oh, sure, I have to. There's a rule saying I have to ground anyone who's crazy. Then why don't you ground me? I'm crazy. Ask Clevenger. Clevenger? Where is Clevenger? You find Clevenger and I'll ask him. Then ask any of the others. They'll tell you how crazy I am. They're crazy. Then why don't you ground them? Why don't they ask me to ground them? Because they're crazy. That's why. Of course they're crazy, Doc Daniken replied. I just told you they're crazy, didn't I? And you can't let crazy people decide whether you're crazy or not, can you? Yossarian looked at him soberly and tried another approach. Is Orr crazy? He sure is, Doc Daniken said. He has to be crazy to keep flying. But first he has to ask me. That's part of the rule. Well, why doesn't he ask you? Because he's crazy. But if he asks you, then that's all he has to do to be grounded? That's all. Let him ask me. And then you can ground him, Yossarian asked. No, then I can't ground him. You mean there's a catch? Sure there's a catch, Doc Danica replied. Catch-22. Anyone who wants to get out of combat duty isn't really crazy. There was only one catch, and that was Catch-22, which specified that a concern for one's own safety in the face of dangers that were real and immediate was the process of a rational mind, or was crazy and could be grounded. All he had to do was ask. And as soon as he did, he would no longer be crazy and would have to fly more missions. Or would be crazy to fly more missions and sane if he didn't. But if he was sane, he had to fly them. If he flew them, he was crazy and didn't have to. But if he didn't want to, he was sane and had to. Yossarian was moved very deeply by the absolute simplicity of this clause of Catch-22 and let out a respectful whistle. That's some catch, that Catch-22, he observed. It's the best there is, Doc Danica agreed. There was only catch. There was only one catch, and that was Catch-22. So if you're looking for a good book, check out the banned book list.